presents a challenge to its users that once mastered can be rewarding and make the utilization of Oracle-specific tools easier to grasp. One of the tools we're going to be discussing is the Task Factory Oracle Upsert Destination. Now, there are many questions surrounding how to configure the connection manager and how to configure the Upsert destination and what happens when certain issues occur. In this blog and a blog to follow, I'd like to answer those questions. So let's get started. I've added a data flow task to my control flow. And what I want to do now is I want to add an OLEDB source and connect it to our Oracle database. I open the OLEDB source and I select New. I'll select New again, and from the Provider dropdown, I'm going to select the option for Oracle Provider for OLEDB, not to be confused for Microsoft OLEDB Provider for Oracle. Let's select the Oracle Provider. So for the server name, I enter my server name, pw_vm, my username, kwood, and my password. I test the connection, and I verify the connection succeeds, and I click OK. This, kwood2, will be our connection manager for the OLEDB source. From the drop-down, we select our table. And I'll identify my table under the kwood schema. Oracle test table will be my source table. We select preview and we're greeted with a warning message. Now this warning message is easily resolved in the properties tab of the OLEDB source, and I'll show you how that's done, but it won't affect its execution of the package. So let's just select OK. We can preview the data and verify that our data exists. Click OK, and we're going to be greeted with the error message again. So to resolve that warning, we'll select the source, press F4 on our keyboard, and go to the Always Use Default Code page field of the custom properties. Let's set this to true, and exit out of the Properties tab. And our OLEDB source is configured correctly. We then are going to add the Task Factory Oracle Upsert Destination. Connect the constraint, open the destination, and we're greeted with the basic user interface. We want to select a new Oracle ADO.NET connection. Here we're going to have to configure it. Now, please pay close attention to the following. From the provider list, you will select the drop-down. For me, because I do not have my entire Oracle client installed, I only have a developer client, I'm going to select the unmanaged driver. But if the Oracle client is to be selected, the option you would want to use here is to use Oracle Client for .NET. And that's Oracle Data Provider for .NET. Not client, Oracle Data Provider for .NET. If the entire Oracle instance is installed, you will see it here. So it's commonly confused with the Oracle Client Data Provider, but that's not the option we want to select here. While that is a valid connection, it will not appear in the Oracle Upsert destination when configured and selected. So what you want to select is the Oracle Data Provider for .NET. And you'll notice I do not have that here because I do not have the entire Oracle client selected. Before you even begin to use the Task Factory Upsert destination, please reach out to the support@pragmaticworks.com and request that we provide you an Oracle client tester. What this Oracle client tester will do is run and install all available Oracle clients so that you can use the Task Factory Upsert destination. We click OK. Oops, sorry. Let's go to Unmanaged Driver and we select OK. Again, I'm using the unmanaged driver. My data source is just going to be the name of my server. Password. And then user ID. Test connection. We verify the connection succeeds. And like that, it's configured. So our connection manager for the Oracle Upsert destination will be the VM kwood1. VM kwood1. We have the table access mode here where you can select an option from variable, select a table from variable. In this case, I'm just using a table for this demonstration. Now, let's select our destination table. Run through the long list of table names that you have. Find your specific table. In my case, I'm going to use the Oracle Test Table Destination. And immediately, I have Insert and Upsert checked. Now, For the input column and destination columns or ID, this is going to be your primary key. You do not need to map every single column. Does not mean if a column is not mapped that it's not going to update. This is simply used for identifying your primary key, and my primary key in this case is my ID field. So I'll select OK. I'll right click and I'll execute the task. Pretty quickly we see that the process has succeeded. Now let's look at my source. Here's my source table, Piper Saratoga Pilot. Originally in my destination I had Cessna Pilot. This is an update that's occurred. So we go back into our Visual Studio and we can stop running this. Let's go back into the Oracle Upsert Destination and talk a little bit more about it and its functionality. Now, there are many things you can do with the Task Factory Oracle Upsert Destination. But before doing any of these, it's important to ensure that you've met all the requirements required for Task Factory to run with Oracle in your environment. You can view this information on our help documentation page on the website, pragmaticworks.com. So let's talk first, again, about the table access mode. Table access mode, again, is just the option you wish to use for processing this information. In this case, we have a table direct. We can name the table from a variable if we wish. We select our destination table. We also have our upsert method here. Row flag compare is a slower option because it's going row by row. The standard default method for the upsert destination components for both Oracle and just the SQL Server that we also provide is a bulk method. Now what this bulk method means is that everything is happening in large batches. So it's not going row by row and updating information. This information is updated in bulk. For that reason, we're required to have a turn off internal transaction option on the advanced tab of our component. What this turn off internal transaction does is prevent table locking because we are using bulk method. And if you have two processes running at the same time, maybe pulling information in, loading information from a source into a destination, we don't want that information to be locked. So we select turn off internal transactions to prevent that from happening. Let's go back to the general tab. We see here again, let's talk more about these keys. Now the key is where you must select at least one column to be used as the key. In our next blog, we'll discuss why this comes into play, or how this comes into play, and how we can troubleshoot it. Let's go to the update method. Let's select column compare. The column compare option can be used to compare whether data in the source matches what's in the destination. If the data doesn't match, well, the update occurs. Otherwise, the update will not be performed. It is important to note that, as you can see here, the process is a little bit slower because it is based on column values. Let's look at last update compare. Now, you can see I'm immediately presented with an option or with an error that says there are not any date-time columns in the source columns that can be used as the last updated column. Please choose another update method or add a date-time column to the source. That pretty much explains the situation I have at hand. Because I don't have a date-time column, I'm unable to use this. But if I were able to use it, what the option would be for me would be, hey, just use this just in case. The last update compare will compare a date column from the source to a date column in the destination. If the dates don't match, you guessed it, the row's updated. That's just a brief overview of the functionality of the Oracle Upsert Destination. Now, to move on to how to troubleshoot a lot of these scenarios.